When you're using inputs and outputs with the Delta robot, this switch or breaker must be turned to the red position to be on. So you can see the sensor is on. And if I turn it to the green position, it's off. These are also the student input and output boards that you will be using for student projects. They will be able to integrate sensors and outputs into your programs. For wiring a sensor into the digital input block, we're going to have 3 wires: a black, a blue, and a brown. In each case, the black is your switching wire, which will be plugged in to whatever out or input you would like, 1, 2, through 16. The blue wire is your 0-volt line, and it will be plugged into the second rung of the digital in block, which is labeled P2. The brown wire, which is carrying the 24 volts, will be wired into the third rung, which is going to be P1. This is how most input sensors will be wired into the digital input blocks. For digital outputs, we're going to have a student version of this block up higher on the robot. And you're going to have 2 wires, basically your red going into your output block, which is labeled 1 through 8, and then a ground going through to the second rung, which is right below it. This should be able to program the robot to know when to turn on outputs and when to turn them off.
Between the input and output blocks, merely grab the connector, push down on the front tab, pull out, and place into the corresponding upper or lower block. The same applies for the digital output. It can be disconnected and plugged into the digital output located here.
Okay, to make sure that your sensors are working properly, you want to hit the I/O button down on the Teach Pennant, and then come over to Type, F1 for Type, scroll down to Digital, press Enter, and then if you're seeing a bunch of DOs, you'll need to switch it to DI for your inputs. So you'll hit F3 for in/out, and then you'll want to hit Shift and scroll down until you reach DI 101. And then if you pass it, you let go of Shift to slowly select which DI you're trying to get to. So as you see here, DI 101 is now on. If I were to trip that sensor, it should turn off. So I actually have it plugged into DI 102 for the one that I was trying to test. You will see down here that it says on or off, but these do not work for DIs, as you cannot turn on or off an input.